This is the Professor, CBMD PhD, and today's Monday, July 21st, 2025. It is 8:31 and 16 seconds, p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today's research, UFO abstracts. So let's hop to it here. NICAP contends that the Air Force has practiced an intolerable degree of secrecy and withholding of information in its public policies on UFO subject and refuses to allow an independent evaluation of its data. There are two general schools of thought on the reasons for this secrecy. One, that the Air Force has obtained significant proof of UFO reality and is withholding its evidence until the public can be psychologically prepared under a program guided by some higher agency. That the withholding of information is not because of any special knowledge on the subject, but results more or less unconsciously from red tape, lack of continuity to the UFO project, differences of opinion within the Air Force, etc. In either case, the secret of public information policies are symptomatic of the general governmental secrecy, which has mushroomed since World War II, and must be viewed in that context. Since official secrecy has become so commonplace, almost an accepted way of life, the topic is extremely complex. For the sake of simplicity, this section is presented mostly in online form. A. Background of government secrecy. B. Air Force regulations and policies. 1. History of the UFO project. C. Air Force statements about its UFO investigation and ICAP. Rebuttals. D. Sample UFO cases involving aspects of secrecy. It is a generally conceded fact in Washington that government secrecy since World War II has grown by leaps and bounds. Even high-ranking officers in the Pentagon, in testimony to Congress, state that there is considerable overclassification of information. Sometimes it appears to be a case of the tail wagging the dog. There is no simple solution to this problem, though it should be a matter of concern to anyone who believes in democracy. It is worth examining the structure of this secrecy to pinpoint some aspects of it, which have been uncovered by congressional investigators, scholars, and newsmen. The Cold War burden plainly has put a severe strain on the traditional American belief in freedom of information. Censors can, and sometimes do, make a case that almost any information released in this technological age is of value to a potential enemy. Often information is withheld in the name of the public interest, but who defines the public interest? Rep. John E. Moss, the California chairman of the Government Operations Subcommittee on Government Information, has long been a champion of the public's right to know. Hearings by his subcommittee over the past several years have brought out many specific instances of unwarranted secrecy, especially by the executive branch. The subcommittee was chartered on June 9, 1955. A year later, the parent committee unanimously adopted House Report Number 2947, which included a study of Defense Department secrecy. The report stated, "The study of the Defense Department so far shows that the informational policies and practices of the department are the most restrictive, and at the same time the most confused, of any major branch of the federal government." In summary, these aspects of the secrecy brought out by the Moss Subcommittee particularly concern us. The Defense Department in practice claims executive privilege to withhold information from Congress and the public. Existing directives leave the decision in specific cases to an arbitrary judgment by the Defense Department. Because of overclassification, the public often is not kept properly informed. By existing regulations, Defense Department personnel are forced to justify release of information that are not required to justify withholding of it. A natural desire on the part of individuals to avoid trouble on controversial issues by not releasing information about them results in excessive secrecy. A more pervasive tendency has developed among the military services to issue reassuring statements rather than facts, generalized statements putting the best face on the matter as far as the agency is concerned, rather than useful detail. In short, the concept of public information has been perverted to public relations, which tries to put across a favorable idea or image rather than to inform. This video was created for educational purposes only. Codename Will, Professor Christopher Brunet, leader of research, scientist, ufologist, psychic, computer programmer, computer technician, philanthropist, writer, mathematician, artist, photographer, film producer, chef, animal, and nature lover. Passion, world peace. Hope you enjoyed listening. Until next time, have an excellent day. This is the Professor, CBMD, PhD, for today's Monday, July 20th.